Members, good afternoon. I will now hold the election of Chairman of the Panel on Financial Affairs in this session. The Secretariat issued a notice to inform members that at the end of the nomination period for the office of Chairman of the Panel, only one valid nomination was received. The nominee is Mr. Robert Lee. The nomination was made by Mr. Chen Chunying and seconded by Ms. Carmen Khan. Because Mr. Robert Lee is not a chairman or deputy chairman of any other panels or a chairman or deputy chairman of any relevant government advisory bodies. In accordance with the rules of procedure and House rules, I declare Mr. Robert Lee duly elected as the chairman of the panel in 2026 session. Congratulations. Thank you for your support. I look forward to working with you all on the work of the panel in the coming months. Let's proceed with the election of the deputy chairman of the panel. The Secretariat issued notice to inform members that at the end of the nomination period for the office of deputy chairman of the panel, only one valid nomination was received. The nominee is Mr. Rock Chen. The nomination was made by myself and seconded by Mr. Holden Chow. Because Mr. Rock Chen is not a chairman or deputy chairman of any other panels or a chairman or deputy chairman of any relevant government advisory bodies, in accordance with the rules of procedure and the House rules, I declare Mr. Rock Chen duly elected as the deputy chairman of the panel in the 2026 session. Congratulations, Mr. Chen, the deputy chairman. The second agenda item is schedule of meetings for the 2026 session. In the 2025 session, the regular meetings of the panel were held in general at 9:30 in the morning on the first Monday of each month. If members agree to continue to adopt the relevant arrangements, please refer to the proposed schedule of meetings for this session before you. Please note that because the first Monday of April is a public holiday, the regular meeting of April will be held instead at 9:30 in the morning on 13th of April, Monday. The third agenda item is items for discussion at the next meeting. A policy briefing. In order for members to have a better understanding of the policy directions of the administration, the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury will hold a policy briefing for the panel between 3 and 4:30 p.m. on 30th of January, Friday, to brief members on the relevant policies. The next regular meeting of the panel will be held at 9 in the morning on 2nd of February, Monday. The administration proposes to discuss the four following items. 1, a work report from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. 2, estimates of the Securities and Futures Commission. 3, a staffing proposal relating to the creation of 2 time-limited directorate positions under the Financial Services branch of the Financial Services and the Treasury Bureau. And 4, the amendments to the Inland Revenue Ordinance to implement the latest arrangements in relation to a declaration framework of crypto assets as well as a common reporting standard. Do members agree to discussing the following the relevant items? If there are no objections, we'll proceed to talk about some items that members propose to discuss in this session. I can see 8 members who have pressed the request to speak button. We'll start with Mr. Tommy Chung. Thank you, Chair. First of all, congratulations, Chairman. This month, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority announced Project Cargo X and made 20 recommendations as well as a roadmap to enhance interconnectivity and facilitate banks' assessments of small and medium enterprises to facilitate the financing to be disbursed to them. And many in the sector are paying close attention to the development of a Cargo X. So I hope that we can receive a report from the government as well as the Hong Kong Monetary Authority on the implementation. Second, we should discuss commodities. I hope that we can talk about spot delivery and futures markets for precious metals, commodities, and new materials and the feasibility of such. We have been actively promoting the development of Hong Kong into an international gold exchange, and we now have 11 accredited warehouses for delivery in Hong Kong. So I hope that in future we can explore the feasibility of delivering other kinds of precious metals as well as other commodities. This is not only relevant to the development of the financial sector, but it will also boost other sectors such as trading, imports and exports, logistics, etc. Thank you, Mr. Ray Wong. I would like to propose 2 areas for discussion. One is similar to what Mr. Tommy Chung said about setting up an ecosystem for the trading of commodities. And we had the financial secretary leading a committee to look at this, and we are trying to promote connectivity with the Guangzhou Futures Exchange. We are very concerned about the top-level design. We want to hear more about this and see how we can make use of technology to promote commodities trading. I also note that for the government, they are looking into tax concessions for the setting up of treasury centers, and the study will be completed in the first half of this year. I hope that we can receive a report once the study is completed, and we can receive a report from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority to see how we can have more regional quarters set up by mainland banks in Hong Kong. Thank you. Mr. Chen Chenying, thank you. We talked about on 2nd of February we would receive a report from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, and many members would speak on that. So we need to make sure we need more time for that, and we also have potential amendments on the Inland Revenue Ordinance. It will be hard on the chairman, so perhaps you can have the deputy chairman take over for a bit. I would say if we can, maybe we shouldn't assign that many items to be discussed at the same meeting because we want to leave more time for the discussion of the work report of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. I want to discuss several items. One, the Chinese yuan, and we, Hong Kong, as a pilot unit for issuing ECNY. So will we go with the latest developments of the People's Bank of China to ensure we align with each other? And I hope that in the first half of this year, we can issue the first batch of stable coins. And maybe in the second half of this year, we can receive a report from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority on the development of stable coin. And thirdly, I know that, Chairman, you are paying close attention to the issue. Gold as a hedging tool has been more popular. We want to talk about how we are clearing gold. So perhaps we can talk about this. And Mr. Rock Chen and I submitted a report to the government about attracting more China concept stocks to list in Hong Kong. I believe some of the measures have been implemented and some have not. Can we receive an update from the relevant departments and units? Thank you, Mr. Chen Chenying. I do know that there are 4 agenda items. That is quite a lot, but apparently the 3rd and 4th agenda items are quite urgent, so I do apologize in advance. Thank you, Ms. Carmen Khan. I agree with what Mr. Chen said. For the regulatory bodies making reports, say the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, SFC, or the Financial Reporting Council. I hope that apart from giving a presentation on the contents of the reports, can they talk about a top of regulatory risks, also their development? I want to also talk about how we have a vision for developing Hong Kong into a fixed income and currency center. There is a roadmap, and we have different members talk about commodities, gold, redomiciliation regime, as well as stable coins. I think with the regulatory bodies' reports, we can discuss what the bodies have done in promoting these. On insurance, for infrastructural investment made by the insurance sector, we heard that the administration is planning to propose amendments, but we have not seen that in the legislative program. What is happening? We also need to have some legislative amendments for the custodian and licensing regime, as well as the trading of digital assets. I do not see that in the 2026 legislative program. So can we follow up on this, Chairman? Thank you. Paragraph 161 of the policy address talked about IP financing. I am paying close attention to, and I think we should discuss how we can nurture talent. We had other members talk about promoting the use of stable coins. And I think apart from general assets such as currency, we can perhaps think about the trading of commodities, what we're going to do in implementation, what changes there are. I also think with 1.4 billion in population, we can definitely make use of Hong Kong as a platform to do more in the development of technology relating to cryptocurrencies and what the government's plans and developments are. Also, can we have some policy support for the establishment of family offices? In fact, the general public can't really think like the family offices, because the family offices think about legacy, and in the mainland, because they practice a different law system, they do not use the concept of trust. So we should really make sure to accommodate the different law systems. I also want to think about how we can combine real world assets and fintech. What is the government's roadmap on this? As for the roadmap for listing of medium-sized enterprises, we can see a bit of a bottleneck. It is very difficult. We do not have something like the NASDAQ in Hong Kong, and I think we should think about this. Thank you. Mr. Alan Chen, I would first like to congratulate the chairman for being elected. I also want to discuss in the long term Hong Kong's development as an international financial center. I am hoping in this term we can ask the government give an idea about a 10-year plan. And we actually have 5-year plans in the country. We should really think about in the next 10 years how we're going to develop. And we have different professionals being boxed into certain categories, but there's actually quite a spectrum. We are lagging behind Singapore, and in commodities, renminbi loans, there is much room we can develop in the different areas. Say for the Asian Development Bank or the BRICS Bank, we can perhaps have the operational headquarters moved to Hong Kong. Right now, the Asian Development Bank's headquarters is in Beijing and the other one is in Shanghai. But there are capital controls in mainland China. If they move their headquarters to Hong Kong, we can really do more in the issuance of sovereign bonds. Right now, the Belt and Road countries invested 8 trillion renminbi, and we need to think about how we can promote sustainable development so that we can have cash flow, and then we can invest in new Belt and Road projects with such funds. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lee Kuang-yu. Thank you, Chair. I want to discuss fintech and its regulation. With rapid advancements in technology and especially AI, with the regulatory bodies such as the Insurance Authority and the NPFA, how can they make sure they catch up with the developments of technology and they will not be lagging behind in terms of regulation? Just like what Mr. Chen said about Chinese yuan stablecoins, the virtual assets, we need to think about how there is going to be development in regulation. All right, next, Dr. Webster.
Thank you, Chair. Well, in relation to the legislative program suggested by the administration, I think quite a lot are related to international taxation matters like crypto assets as well as the common reporting standards. So probably we are looking forward to such changes in the coming year. I think we should pay early attention to that because of its complexity so that we can have an earlier briefing so that we can know more about our competitiveness in terms of our taxation arrangements. Next, Mr. Albert Chuang. Congratulations, Chair and Deputy Chair. 3 areas. First of all, I think last year we improved the investors' admission schemes. So it is now $30 million in relation to the amount that has to be invested. How many new arrivals have been attracted and whether the assets have been well allocated. I hope in due course we can be updated on this so as to see whether we should upscale it or downscale it. And then in relation to measures to help the new migrants, would there be a specific unit to fine-tune the taxation arrangements so as to attract the talents to come? And then the administration has said that we're going to implement phase 1 of the full portability of MPF. I hope will be given an early roadmap and timetable about the legislative amendments. Next, Mr. Adrian Ho. Congratulations, Chair and Deputy Chair. I would like to focus on the following areas. That is, we should invite the Hong Kong Investment Corporation to come here to give us a briefing. In the past, we did have a lot of questions concerning their arrangements, investments and rates of return, etc. So I look forward to getting the Hong Kong ICE to be invited to brief us on their work as well as their future plans. Thank you. Last but not least, Ms. Christine Fong. I'm concerned about our efforts to maintain our IFC status, like making it free for the enterprises to get listed. Now, of course, in the past, there was a issuing bank that went back, that didn't honor its promise to give dividends. So for important information to be issued, I think we need a one-stop platform so as to make sure that they will be fair in treating their investments, in particular in relation to the giving out of dividends. Well, I would like to inform members that myself and the Deputy Chair will be holding a meeting with the administration concerning the work plan for the year 2026, and all your suggestions will be taken up at that meeting. And then for subcommittees studying policy issues, the House Committee Chairman at our House Committee meeting last week already briefed you on the basic principles concerning the proposals to set up subcommittees under the House Committee or under panels to study policy issues. the House Committee has already agreed that after gathering all the proposals concerning the setting up of subcommittees, the House Committee will have a holistic view concerning the priority of the setting up of subcommittees. The panel will have its first regular meeting early February. If you want to set up a subcommittee on policy issues so as to look at specific issues of wide public interest, please give us written proposals by 5 p.m. on the 28th of January, a Wednesday. You need to cover the terms of reference, the work plan, as well as the timetable, among other pieces of information. Please also note that in relation to the membership limit of subcommittees under panels, it is 20. And you have to note that more than half of the members should be panel members. And for non-panel members, they may join us, but then they mustn't outnumber the panel members on the subcommittee. AOB being the fourth item. Anything? No? Then meeting adjourned. Thank you.